Okie my dokie. Let's go ahead and look at some fabrication for the capacitor in the center. So what we have is a aluminum. I got it as the bottom floor here. It's touching the shaft, which now brings the whole case, the whole motor block, to be part of the inside part of this capacitor. You got your aluminum on the inside. You got your PVC dielectric. I still have to modify this and make it squattier, shorter, so I could fit the top on and the handle. But this came to me this morning, well, last night in my sleep, and woke up this morning. And before I go to work right now, I just built this in 15 minutes. This is just a rough copy, but basically, you got an inner shell, you have your dielectric, you have your outer shell. So that basically on the outer shell, you see I'm lifting up, so it won't be touching the floor, and it won't be up in the air too, because I have to have a good gap distance between the two. I don't want it to snap across. So obviously some tests are going to need to be done, but I'll do some modification there. Then this would go on top, and this would be connected to the inner core, not the outer core. And then the handle would go on. Then that means that this handle now is the inside part of this capacitor. So in theory, as you turn this, as the batteries pass the pickup in the front, it will start making electric. Now think about back in the day, you had Model T, they had the buzz boxes. So to get a higher spark to the spark gap in the car, they would step up the voltage from 6 volts, okay, step it up, uh, and at the spark gap, you would have your 20,000 volts, your 40,000 volts, or 60,000 volts, whatever they applied out of the coil in the buzz box. So now with that voltage coming out of the pickup, comes around, turns in that voltage, comes back around down through the chain, and as it goes by the hook, makes a big draw contact, charges the capacitor. The capacitor then releases back into the center um, capacitor. And what you'll have is a radiant charge on the center. And as that approaches around the back, it will go ahead and most likely when it gets to see what I'm still working on is we're creating a difference in potential, and that's what everything is about. When you go to look for power in electricity, you look for a difference in potential. Now, just the starter to get this thing going, you have outside potential, you have magnets north and south, you have a neutral in the center. So to create the difference in potential, we got to make this happen. You got to create what we're talking about, and that's by having this one ring as a positive, the upper and the lower as a negative. You got it turning, so it's taking this and vortexing this energy all up to the top of this handle. And this handle becomes like the top of a pyramid to where it's all vortex. And then we got this sucker turning in an orbit like this. So there's a lot going on here, but from step by step, to get any group of magnets to do anything other than stick together or wrap copper around a core and have a magnet go by and create very little power, you know. So that's what you would have if this was just a magnet based generator or an alternator or a stator. If you want to look at it, is this whole thing is a stator core, but we're beyond all that. So just right now, in talking, you got your inside capacitor. all the guts in the center here will be connected to the inside, won't be touching the outside. This outside layer of the capacitor will be radiantly picking up charge from the buildup of charge that's going to be building up inside the concrete glass dielectric from the magnets swooping by. Remember, Ed mentions about, you might lose some magnets, but they make their way, they'll leave, but others will come back in. So I believe that's what's happening with the dielectric in the cement, that the cement shown through the dissecting of a capacitor, that it's the dielectric part that holds the charge. So that means this is going to hold the charge on the inside, the cement, and we'll be able to release it and give it channels. Obviously we're doing what Ed said. He's saying you got to magnets in many. You got to separate the charge, to have one run against the other. So these are the things that we're creating here in this beautiful specimen of a wheel. All right, guys, leave your comments. I have to go to work. Be back later on around 5-ish. We'll start modifying this and get the handle all set. And then we're going to go ahead and take my static machine and we're going to charge the center core. And I just hope I don't kill myself today later on with, you can already see how that little guy hurt. What we have to do, maybe I'll use a chicken stick to start off with. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I want to be able to charge that capacitor and then be able to release it and sit back, and that's when we'll get that bar I have down there. We'll go from here up and over like on Ed's picture and with the hook, and we'll start putting the bar up, and man, then we're on our way. We're getting on our way. Peace.